Imagine living in a world where nothing can disturb your inner peace. Insults, challenges, and chaos surround you, yet they hold no power over your mind. How is this possible? Today, we'll explore 10 Buddhist principles that can help you cultivate a life untouched by external distractions. Principle 1. Insults only hurt if you let them in. Buddhism, we learn that words can only wound us if we allow them to. Think of a stone thrown into a lake. Ripples form, but soon the water returns to stillness. Likewise, when someone speaks harshly, you may feel unsettled for a moment, but you always have the choice to let go and return to peace. Real life story. A friend of mine once worked in a company where a colleague publicly criticized her. Initially hurt, she took a step back and reflected. She realized that the criticism reflected her colleague's frustration, not the truth of her work. By understanding this, she freed herself from the burden of negativity. Principle 2. See everyone as your teacher. Buddhism encourages us to view every person we meet as a teacher. Whether they bring joy or challenges, they offer valuable lessons. Difficult people teach us patience, while kind people inspire compassion. By adopting this mindset, we transform every interaction into an opportunity for growth. Real life story. I once had to work with a highly demanding individual. At first, I was frustrated by their impatience, but over time, I saw their high standards as a lesson in self-discipline. Instead of reacting negatively, I learned to stay calm and composed, ultimately improving my own efficiency. Principle 3. Transform jealousy into imitation. Instead of feeling envious of someone's success, Buddhism teaches us to channel that energy into self-improvement. Rather than comparing yourself negatively, learn from those who inspire you. Real life story. A close friend of mine used to feel inadequate when others achieved great things. But once she started seeing their success as motivation instead of competition, she focused on learning from them. As a result, she grew in confidence and achieved her own milestones. Principle 4. Be strict with yourself, but gentle with others. Buddhism teaches us to set high standards for ourselves while being forgiving toward others. Holding yourself accountable fosters discipline, but judging others harshly only breeds negativity. Real life story. I used to be highly critical of my colleagues when they made mistakes, expecting them to meet my own level of commitment. However, I realized this created unnecessary tension. By shifting my focus inward, striving for excellence myself while showing understanding to others, I created a more positive work environment. Principle 5. No one can hurt you without your permission. Buddhism reminds us that while people's actions may be hurtful, our response determines their impact. When we refuse to let negativity enter our hearts, we remain unshaken. Real life story. A friend of mine was insulted by a coworker in front of others. Instead of reacting with anger, she remained calm. Later, she told me she had learned that only she had the power to control her emotions. By choosing not to engage, she maintained her inner peace. Principle 6. The power of acceptance. Acceptance in Buddhism is not passive resignation. It is embracing reality without resistance. When we accept things as they are, we reduce suffering and open ourselves to solutions. Real-life story. A friend was diagnosed with a chronic illness, and at first she struggled with denial and frustration. But when she practiced acceptance, she found peace and adapted to her new reality, no longer letting her condition define her happiness.